Chinese do not have any business being in our exclusive economic zone. Shouldn't that be shouldn't that be the starting point?
You're really pushing it, Christian. But I can tell you that clearly, we are not happy with what they're doing.
Oh.
So to begin with, we're pushing back.
Oh.
We were always in the mode of trying to appease them. We're trying to say, let's talk. And right now, we're very firm. We will continue to do what we're doing because this area is our territory. At the same time, we're offering them, let's sit down. Let's not bring it to a level that is going to make it escalate it into a major conflict. And I think the message is very clear. So we're trying to find ways and means to be able to really come to terms for both of us, for both our countries, that we need to sit down. It's not about the United States. It's not about the competition. It's about what is rightfully ours. The rule of law, the international law that has been the arbitration award that was given to us. It's about that. This is where our argument starts. You recognize that they're a signatory to that one, then we have at least a direction where we're going. But unless that thing is recognized, then obviously the situation remains the same.
Yeah, let's talk about the nuancing in terms of China's messaging or gaslighting. Diba, dito sa latest visit ni Secretary Blinken, sumagot yung Chinese Foreign Ministry. Sinabi nila, the United States is not a party to this issue. Tapos sinabi rin na he has no right to intervene in the maritime issues between China and the Philippines. Hindi ba parang sila nagpapasok sa US equation instead of the Philippines doing it?
Well, as the Defense Secretary Gilbert Tudoro said, they have no business telling us what to do. Do we tell them what kind of relationship they should have with North Korea or Russia? Obviously, we're concerned about that because of what's happening, but we're not telling them anything. They shouldn't tell us either on what kind of relationship, who we want to be friends with. It's as simple as that. I mean, if we have a relationship with the United States, we have a defense strategy with them, it's our business. It's as simple as that to many of us. We believe that that's the way it is. And I think Secretary Tudor said it right. They have no business telling us what to do.
But why do you think China is so brazen in terms of framing the narrative this way?
Well, it's very hard to explain many of the actions that they've taken. In fact, I'm sure you heard about the Gulf of Tonkin, which they're now expanding their so-called territory. That is a problem, of course, that our ASEAN friend Vietnam is facing also in their area. So it's something that we're trying to still decipher and why they're making all of these moves that obviously is not helping them in the international community. But for us, we just want to be able to leave it at peace. Do not harass us. Do not try to take over any of our territory. Then we have no problem with you. For as long as they continue to do what they're doing, then we have a problem. And we will continue to push back.
In terms of our ASEAN neighbors, of course, matagal nang iniintay na dyan. I don't know how effective that would still be. Yung legally binding code of conduct. Although we have an existing declaration in the code of conduct, but it's not binding. I mean, how are we in terms of also getting our ASEAN allies on board to fight for what is right in terms of international law?
Well, I think the president has made it clear that he is reaching out to the same claimants: Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. So he has reached out to all of them, and I think in many of those conversations, at least especially with Vietnam, we all are agreed that we have to find a way to be able to work together for our maritime security and maritime our environment to be protected, and the fishing to regulate fishing. These are all very important issues that we have to band together, especially those that are with competing claims. But you see, the beauty about it is that we have all of these neighbors that are ready to just simply sit down and talk about this and to find ways and means to be able to have a resolution to it in a peaceful way. Not the way that is being thrown to us by this type of aggression, that this is ours and you have no choice, you have to ask our permission and everything. That's totally unacceptable to any one of these other countries. So we're together in this one.
Oo. Incidentally, yun ang ginagawa ng China kasi.
Exactly.
Diba?
That's why.
Pero nga, in terms of dealing with that particular tactic, so, of course, you don't have to talk about the specifics, pero what kind of developments are happening in that front?
All I can tell you is that because of the multilateral approach that we're doing right now, especially with Australia, Japan, and the United States, and some European countries, I think that clearly we have options that are now available to us. And more importantly, we have many of our allies that are prepared to work with us into finding ways to be able to secure our borders, the territorial waters that we're fighting about. But people have the wrong notion that if we just stay away from these two countries, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's totally being naive about this. The reality is, anything happens to any one of our countries in the ASEAN region, all of us will be affected. And this is the message that we tell all our ASEAN neighbors. If anything happens to us, lahat tayo apektado. Japan realizes that. Australia, which is so far away, they know that we're in the front line, so to speak. Island chain yan eh.
Yeah.
So nobody will be immune from this type of situation. So we have to work together. Kailangan magsama-sama tayong lahat to be able to make it clear na we're not gonna budge. Kasi sa atin, we're arguing on the basis of kung ano yung tama eh.
Yeah.
You see? We're not arguing on the basis of what we think is the historical right eh. Wala eh. We're talking here of what is right. The rule of law, following the international law.
Tsaka invalidated na yun, Ambassador.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Kung nagustuhan niyo po itong video na ito, pakilike at share na lang po para mas marami pang makakita at makapanood. Kung gusto niyo po makibalita, follow niyo na rin po ako sa aking mga social media accounts na nakasulat po sa screen. Pwede rin po kayo magpadala ng super thanks, super like, super chat at super sticker sa YouTube, saka Facebook stars po. Alam niyo po, malayo po mararating ito para makagawa pa po kami ng mas maraming video na makatutulong po sa pagpapakalat ng tamang impormasyon para sa bawat Pilipino. Kada like, subscribe, follow at share ay pagsuporta po sa tunay na independent journalism sa bansa. Maraming salamat po.